30-second hook. I never wanted to be part of that charity auction. My name got added as a joke by my own sister, and I stood on that stage expecting silence, maybe a pity bid from a stranger just to end my embarrassment. Instead, one voice kept rising above every other bidder, a voice I recognized instantly. My sister's best friend, the woman I'd known since she was 15 years old, showing up at our kitchen table for homework help, wouldn't stop raising her hand. By the time the bidding ended, the whole room was staring at us. And so was I, because I finally understood something I'd been too blind to see for years. I run a small hardware store on the corner of 5th and Main, the kind of place where people still call me by name and ask about my daughter before they ask about lumber prices. I'm a single dad. Have been since my wife left 6 years ago, back when my daughter Mia was barely 6. Life since then has been simple in the way survival is simple. Get up, get Mia to school, open the store, close the store, make dinner, help with homework, sleep, repeat. Somewhere in that routine, I stopped thinking about myself as anything other than Mia's dad. My sister Renee is the opposite of me. Loud, social, always organizing something. So when she called me in a panic 3 days before the annual town charity gala, saying one of the bachelors for the date auction had backed out with the flu, I should have known better than to answer honestly. Just say yes, she said. It's for the children's hospital. You don't even have to try. Nobody's going to bid on my boring brother anyway. I laughed and said fine, mostly to get her off the phone. I didn't think about it again until I was standing backstage in a shirt Renee ironed for me, listening to the MC read out numbers from men before me. Teachers, firefighters, a dentist who got 17 bids. I figured I'd get one, maybe 2 out of pity, and it would be over in 30 seconds. Then they call my name. The lights were too bright to see faces clearly, just shapes and the low hum of chatter. The MC read my little bio card, something about being a devoted single father and local business owner, and I heard a few polite claps. The bidding opened at $20. Silence. I remember thinking, this is fine, this is exactly what I expected. Let's just get through this. Then a voice called out $50, and something about it made my chest tighten before I even placed it. I scanned the crowd and found her 3 rows back, standing instead of sitting, one hand raised like she was in a debate she intended to win. Claire, Renee's best friend since middle school. The girl who used to sit at our kitchen table doing algebra homework while I made grilled cheese for both of them, back when I was 17 and she was 15 and neither of us thought anything of it, because that's just what family friends did. Over the years, she'd become part of our lives in that quiet, permanent way. Showing up at Thanksgiving, teaching Mia how to braid her hair, sending a card every year on the anniversary of my wife leaving, never saying much, just being there. Someone else bid 70. Claire bid 90. The dentist's fiancé elbowed him and laughed, and the crowd started paying attention now, sensing a story unfolding in real time. A man near the back jumped it to 150, probably just to stir things up. Claire didn't even blink. 200. Going once, the MC said, grinning like he knew he'd stumbled onto the best moment of the night. Going twice. 250, called a different voice, and the room made that soft collective sound people make when a game show contestant risks it all. Claire turned toward the voice, jaw tight, and said, loud enough for the microphone to catch it, 300. The room erupted. My face was burning under those stage lights, and for one terrible, wonderful second I forgot I was supposed to be composed, because all I could think was, why does she care this much? Nobody topped 300. The gavel came down. Claire walked up to claim her prize, with her cheeks pink and her chin lifted like she dared anyone to make it weird, and Renee, my own sister, the one who'd swore nobody would bid on me, stood at the edge of the stage recording the whole thing on her phone with an expression that told me she was far less surprised than she pretended to be. That night, over coffee that neither of us actually drank, Claire finally explained herself, though not without a long, uncomfortable pause first. I wasn't going to let some stranger buy a date with you as a joke, she said. You spent 6 years taking care of everyone but yourself. I got tired of watching it. I laughed it off, said something about her being a good friend, always looking out for the family. She didn't laugh back. She just looked at me with this steady, exhausted honesty and said, do you actually not know? Renee's known for 2 years. I figured you'd figure it out eventually, but you're the most observant, unobservant man I've ever met. I sat there stunned, replaying a decade of small things I'd chalked up to friendship. The way she remembered Mia's shoe size without being told, the way she used to linger at the door a little too long saying goodbye, the way she never brought a boyfriend to a single family dinner in 10 years, and I'd never once asked why. We didn't kiss that night. It felt too big, too fragile for something that fast. Instead, we talked until 2 in the morning, the kind of conversation where you excavate years of things unsaid. And somewhere in there, I told her honestly that I was terrified, not of her, but of getting it wrong again, of putting Mia through more instability, of being the reason someone else got hurt, because I couldn't tell the difference between comfortable and right. She didn't push. She just said, "Take your time. I've waited this long." It's funny. A small-town charity date auction meant to raise a little money for the children's hospital ended up raising something I didn't know I was missing. Over the following months, Claire and I took it slow, careful, the way you handle something you've already almost lost once without knowing it. Mia adjusted first. Honestly, she'd always loved Aunt Claire, and when she found out Claire might become something more, she just shrugged and said, finally, like a 7-year-old who'd seen the whole thing coming before either of the adults did. There's a moment I keep coming back to, the one that made me understand what actually happened that night on that stage. It wasn't really about money or a date or even about me. It was about a woman who'd quietly loved a family for a decade, waiting for the one man in it too grief-worn and distracted to notice her, finally refusing to stay silent when a room full of strangers threatened to treat him like nothing worth fighting for. We got married the following spring, in Renee's backyard, with a cardboard sign near the gift table that Renee made as a joke. Started at $20, ended at forever. And somehow that terrible pun made half the guests cry. I think about that auction sometimes, how close I came to just standing there letting the bidding stall at $20, how easily the whole story could have ended in quiet, forgettable embarrassment. But love doesn't always announce itself with fireworks. Sometimes it just keeps raising its hand again and again, refusing to be outbid, until you finally turn around and see who's been standing there all along. If there's one thing I'd want anyone watching this to take with them, it's this. Don't wait for grand gestures to notice the people who've already been choosing you, quietly, for years. Sometimes the person worth building a life with isn't a stranger you're searching for. They're already sitting 3 rows back, hand raised, waiting for you to finally look.